Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we will cover the most important science and technology current affairs from 8th to 14th June, especially curated for UPSC, State PCS, BPSC, UPPCS, and other competitive exams. These updates are exam relevant, concise, and explained with context to help you remember better. So let's begin. First news about Abilist. Abilist, which was launched on June 12, 2025, served as the first unified global checklist of bird species. This initiative followed 4 years of collaborative work by the Working Group on Avian Checklist. This checklist replaces previous list including the International Ornithological Committee and Clement list. It aims to give clarity and consistency in avian birds taxonomy, which is crucial for conservation efforts. About AV List compiles a comprehensive list of 11,131 bird species, 19,879 subspecies, 2,376 genera, 252 families, and 46 orders. So these extensive wide classification reflects a global consensus on bird taxonomy, avian taxonomy, which is published by BirdLife International and is available for free online download. About collaborative efforts, the working group on avian checklist includes experts from BirdLife International, Cornell Lab of Ornithology, American Ornithologists Society, International Ornithologists Union, and AVBase. They work together to harmonize different types of taxonomic perspectives. They aims to eliminate confusion, to remove confusion in species identification and help in conservation efforts, facilitate conservation efforts. So AVList is the first ever unified global checklist of bird species, become live on June 12th June 2025. After 4 years of work by the working group on avian checklist. This new checklist will replace the International Ornithological Committee (IOC) and Clements list and will be always updated annually. Will be updated annually according to the statement by BirdLife International, the global partnership of non-governmental organization that strives to conserve birds and their habitats. What are the importance for conservation? AV list is important for conservationists and ornithologists who do the study of birds. It gives a common language for discussing birds species. It helps in prioritizing conservation action effectively. It emphasizes that a unified taxonomy which help in data sharing. About taxonomy and methodology, this checklist uses an integrative species concept. The concept is integrated. This approach considers various evidences types, including morphology, genetics, and behaviors, and discussed in detail, often using sound recordings, and museum specimen to validate species classification. These discussions are made through a voting process among group members. So it is freely accessible online. Anyone can access it. Users can download the complete checklist or a concise version in WXLX and .csv. The extension is .xlsx and .csv formats. This accessibility ensured that researchers, policymakers, and bird enthusiasts can use the information for different purposes, including scientific research and legislative action. As new research emerges with the help of AB list, which should be updated annually, will evolve to reflect the latest scientific understanding. These ongoing process will continue to refine avian taxonomy and enhance conservation strategies. Second news about statins, which show promise in reducing sepsis death rate. What is sepsis? Sepsis is a critical condition that arises when the body's response to infection leads to widespread inflammation. This can result in organ damage and is often fatal, causes death also. Result in organ damage and is often fatal. Recent research indicates that statins drugs traditionally used to lower cholesterol. The recent research indicates that statins drugs are used traditionally to lower cholesterol level in human body. It may reduce mortality rates in patients suffering from sepsis, according to the recent research. A study published in Frontiers in Immunology reveals that statin treatment could lower the death rate by nearly 40% for critically ill patients, sick patients. What is sepsis? Sepsis occurs when the human immune system overreacts to an infection. It can lead to different types of complications such as organ failure and shock. And this condition has a high mortality rate, high death rate, estimated between 30 and 40%. Sepsis is a leading cause of death globally. Sepsis is a leading cause of death globally, affecting 1 in 5 deaths. So what are role of statins? Statins are primarily prescribed to manage cholesterol levels. Primarily, we are using it to manage cholesterol, human cholesterol levels and prevent cardiovascular diseases. They possess additional properties that may be beneficial in treating inflammatory disorders, which is caused by septic-like disease. So these include anti-inflammatory, immunomodulatory, antioxidative, and antithrombotic effects. These have anti-inflammatory, immunomodulatory, antioxidative, and antithrombotic effects. So it may help reduce excessive inflammation and restore endothelial function, which is important for maintaining vascular health. So recent studies suggest that statins commonly used to lower cholesterol in human body may also reduce mortality death in patients with sepsis. The study published in Frontiers in Immunology is indicated an approximately 39% to 40% lower death rate among critically ill sepsis patients treated with statins compared to those not receiving the medication. So statins are known for their cholesterol lowering properties, but they also exhibit anti-inflammatory, immunomodulatory effects, which may be beneficial in sepsis treatment. These findings suggest that statins could be a valuable, precious addition to standard sepsis treatment, which typically includes different types of antibiotics, fluids, and vasopressors. So what are the symptoms of sepsis? Sepsis causing infection frequently begin in the skin, gastrointestinal tract, urinary tract, or lungs. With prompt treatment, sepsis can quickly cause organ failure, tissue damage, and even cause death. So what are the symptoms? Fever or very cold, extreme pain or general discomfort, pale or discolored skin, sleepy, difficult, confused state of mind, I might die, sort of breathe. So these are the sepsis which is caused by the infection which is frequently begin in the skin, gastrointestinal tract, urinary tract or lungs. So it can cause organ failure, tissue damage and even death. So prevention of sepsis, get vaccinated. If prescribed, take your antibiotics. If doctor prescribed, take your antibiotics correctly, timely. So take care of your open wounds, wash your hands frequently. So study details about that. The study analyzed health records of 2065,000 adult patients diagnosed with sepsis between year 2008 and 2019. The patients who received statins during their hospital stay were compared to those who did not get this treatment. The results indicated difference in mortality death rates over a 28-day period treatment. The death rate was 14.3% in the statin group compared to 23.4% in the non-statin group. So the death rate was 14.3% in the patient got the statin treatment and compared to the patient who did not get the non-statin group, who did not get the statin treatment. The death rate is 23.4%. So what are the key findings? The research found a 39% reduction in death rates for patients treated with statins. Additionally, statin use was linked to decreased mortality in intensive care units and overall hospitalization. So this finding suggests that statins may provide a protective effect for critically ill patients with sepsis, suffering with sepsis, improving their clinical outcomes. So while the study results are promising, positive, the authors emphasize the necessity for further clinical trials. These trials are essential to confirm the findings and establish the efficacy of statins in treating disease sepsis. Problem sepsis. This could lead to new treatment protocols that incorporate statins for sepsis management. So, in further research supports these findings, statins could become a critical component in the treatment of sepsis. This would represent advancement in managing condition that currently has limited treatment option. The integration of statins could potentially save countless lives globally by improving survival rates among critically ill patients. Third news about new SARS-CoV-2 variant XFG. The emergence of XFG variant of SARS-CoV-2 has raised concern in India. And as of June 2025, 163 cases have been reported primarily in Maharashtra. The total number of active COVID-19 cases in India at present stands at 6,815 with 3 deaths recorded in the last 24 hours. So the Indian SARS-CoV-2 Genomics Consortium has confirmed the presence of this new variant. About the XFG variant, it is a recombinant strain, means recombinant strain which result from the merging of combination of two earlier strains. The merging of two earlier strains are LF7 and LP812. These variants carries 4 mutation in the spike protein. It has shown rapid global spread since its initial detection in Canada. Initially detected in Canada. The variant is a descendant of Omicron subvariant. The Maharashtra has reported the highest number of cases at 89. Other states with notable cases include Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, West Bengal, and new cases has also been confirmed in Telangana. So there are clinical characteristics about the XFG variants. It appears to cause mild upper respiratory symptoms. This is particularly true for vaccinated individual or those who have had previous COVID-19 infection. Current data indicates 66% of respiratory viral infection in India are COVID related. So 66% of respiratory viral infection in India are due to COVID related. So hospitalization rates remain low even among high risk population. Comparison with ZN1 variant, the XFG variants differs from ZN1 variants, which is a sublineage of Omicron BA286. The ZN1 variant has been linked to a rise in cases across Asia. It carries around 30 mutation and has been detected in different countries. So the World Health Organization has classified ZN1 variant as a variant of interest, but has not yet done so for XFG. So in response to the rising cases, the Union Health Ministry is conducting mock drill to assess preparedness. States have been instructed to ensure the availability of oxygen, isolation beds, essential medicines. Most cases are mild and managed at home. So no need to be panicked. As of now, India has reported a total of 65 deaths since January 2025. The number of active patients are lower in late May with only 257 cases reported. Continuous monitoring and genome sequencing of positive samples are underway to track the variant spread. Next news about nuclear fusion breakthrough in Germany. Nuclear fusion represents a very significant advancement in the quest for sustainable energy. Scientists in Germany have recently made strides in this field. The Wendelstein 7X reactor in Greifswald has set a new record by sustaining a fusion plasma for 43 seconds. This achievement is a notable, significant leap towards harnessing fusion as a viable energy source, as a viable, sustainable energy source. What is nuclear fusion? Nuclear fusion is a process where light atomic nuclei combine. Fusion means combination. So light atomic nuclei combine to form heavier nuclei, releasing large amount of energy. So this reaction powers the sun as and has the potential to provide clean, limitless energy on Earth. Unlike nuclear fission, which splits, which break down heavy atoms and produce harmful waste, fusion promises minimal environmental impact. Nuclear fusion provides minimal, very less environmental impact. Wendelstein 7X reactor is the world's largest operational accelerators. It utilizes powerful external magnets to confine superheated plasma. The reactors achieve temperature exceeding 20 million degrees Celsius, peaking at 30 million. So it led to a record high triple product, important measure of fusion efficiency. So there is a use of triple product. The triple product is a key performance indicator in fusion, nuclear fusion research. It combines plasma temperature, density, and confinement time. It achieves high values in all three areas, which is essential for successful nuclear fusion. The recent result from Wendelstein 7X aligned with those previously reached by tokamaks, indicating progress in fusion technology. So there are challenges also in nuclear fusion energy, sustainable energy. Despite its promise, developing nuclear fusion, developing nuclear fusion for practical energy use is challenging. Achieving and maintaining the extreme condition necessary for nuclear fusion, which requires advanced technology. So it is also one challenge. Most current reactors consume heavy energy, use energy, more energy than they produce, making net energy gain a critical goal for future research. About global context, countries around the world are investing in nuclear fusion research. China's experimental advanced superconducting tokamak East previously held the record for sustaining plasma for 1,000 seconds. As gradually energy demands rise, fusion is increasingly viewed as a potential solution to the global energy crisis and climate change. Nuclear fusion offers several safety advantages over nuclear fission. It has a lower risk of accident and does not produce long-lived radioactive waste products. Additionally, fusion does not emit greenhouse gases. It is the most important point. So nuclear fusion does not give out greenhouse gases, making it an attractive option in the fight against climate change. So nuclear fusion acts as an attractive option in the fight against climate change. and to reduce the production of greenhouse gases, which is causing drastic change in climate. Application beyond Earth fusion, nuclear fusion energy could also play important, significant role in space exploration. Its potential for providing abundant, large amount of energy could support long-term missions beyond our solar system because it provides abundant energy which support long-term missions beyond our solar system. As researchers continue to advance fusion technology, the possibilities for its application are expanding. Next news about the Spathaspina nuhi. The recent identification of a new beetle species, Spathaspina nuhi, has excited the scientific community. The discovery was made in the forest of Meghalaya. The beetle is notable for its distinctive specific sword-like spine. These anatomical features is the body feature, physical feature is so rare that it warranted the creation of a new genus, Spatspina. The beetle was discovered at an elevation of 781 meters in the Riboi district. So it puts stress on the rich biodiversity of Northeast India. There is a rich biodiversity at Northeast India. So Spatspina nuhi belongs to the Weevil family, Curculinodida. This family includes over 60,000 species globally. This family already includes over 60,000 species globally. Weevils are for their important role in ecosystems. They help control invasive plant species. The new genus name is derived from Latin word spatha. Spatha means sword and spina meaning spine. So this reflects the beetle's prominent anatomical feature. So ecological significance is it plays crucial roles in maintaining ecological balance. Some species are agricultural pests. However, many contribute positively by controlling plant dynamics. The new species Pathaspina nuhi is a part of the subfamily Pseudoryhini. This group includes over 1,300 species worldwide. They are primarily found in Europe and parts of Asia. Morphological features about the body features, the beetles in the Pseudoryhini skinny subfamily are recognized from their compact bodies, typically retract their snouts between their legs when resting. Visibility is another identifying traits. Exception exist in some genera such as Psychonicinus and Pseudoryhinocoides. The species name Spathaspina nuhi honors P.B. Nuh, IS Director of Tourism for Kerala. This naming acknowledges his efforts in promoting eco-tourism. So that the name has given based on the IS Director of Tourism Kerala to give honors to P.B. Nuh. Spathaspina nuhi. It reflects the balance between the ecological conservation and responsible tourism. They reflect the balance between ecological and conservation and responsible tourism. The researchers aim to highlight the importance of sustainable development in preserving different types of biodiversity. Next news about Himalayan long-tailed coyotes. Recent research has revealed a new bat species in the western Himalayas, bridging the ecological gap between India and Pakistan. And this discovery is part of larger study which is conducted between 2017 and 2021, which documented 29 bat species in Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. Among these, the Himalayan long-tailed species is Himalaya kus, stands out as a new to science species. The study involved survey conducted by a team of different scientists from India and Hungary. They collected a specimen in May 2021 from Uttarakhand's Kamoli districts. And this specimen was found to match another collected in 1998 from Pakistan. The research was published in the journal. The name of the journal is JUTAXA, denoting the collaborative effort in bat taxonomy. The Himalayan long-tailed Myotis belong to the Myotis frater complex, a group of morphologically similar bats, and this is distributed across various regions, including Eastern China and Japan as well. So the identification of this new species enhances our understanding of bat diversity in the Himalayas. So new addition to bat fauna, the study also added the East Asian free-tailed bat name is Tadarina insignis to India's bat fauna. Previously misidentified as a European free-tailed bat, this species extends its range by approximately 2,500 kilometers eastward into the Himalayan region. About historical concept, and another there was also another finding of babus pipistrellus babu, once considered as a synonym of the Javan pipistrelle. This species has now been confirmed as distinct and is found in India, Pakistan, and Nepal. This marks the importance of historical specimens in taxonomic research. So the finding of this study are important for conservation of bat species in India. The documentation of this species can inform conservation strategies and enhance biodiversity efforts in the region. The total number of bat species in India now stands at 135, which is reflecting the rich mammalian diversity of the Himalayas. This is about the bat species. About future research direction, the study encourages further research on small mammalian fauna in the Indian Himalayas. It puts stress on the need for ongoing surveys and genetic analysis to uncover more undiscovered species and understand their ecological roles. Next news about non-binary AI chip, artificial intelligence chip. China has made leap in improvement in artificial intelligence with the development of non-binary AI chips. This advancement comes from Professor Li Hong's team at Beihang University. They have developed a novel computing approach, and that novel computing approach is known as a hybrid stochastic number computing. Hybrid stochastic number computing. This novel approach is called. This innovation aims to address critical limitation in conventional computing. About hybrid stochastic number computings, it merges traditional binary logic with probabilistic logics. About binary system, we know already it operates on precise calculation using ones and zeros, which are energy intensive. These are the binary numbers. In contrast, stochastic computing uses voltage signal frequencies to represent values. The most important thing is that stochastic computing uses voltage signal frequencies to represent different types of values, resulting in lower power consumption but often slower performance. The HSN system combines these approaches to achieve a balance of energy efficiency and computational reliabilities. So it is addressing key limitation in conventional chips. There are two major limitation challenge in conventional chips: the power wall and the architecture wall. The power wall, it refers to the high energy demands of binary system one and zeros, making scalability difficult. The architecture wall marks the integration issues of non-silicon chips with existing CMOS infrastructures. Hybrid stochastic number computing provides a solution. It gives a solution by reducing energy consumption while maintaining high performance. So application of non-binary AI chips. The non-binary AI chips has been implemented across various sectors. It in touch display system it is used. It enhances user interaction by filtering noise and accurately detecting weak signals. Able to detect weak signals. In medical, it is used in medical and industrial displays as well. It enables rapid, low power data processing for precise readings. Used in aviation, the chip ensures steady navigation and fault tolerance, crucial for aerospace operation. Used in memory computing capability, which reduces energy intensive data transfer, addressing bottleneck in traditional systems. About overcoming technologically restrictions despite facing US export restriction on advanced semiconductor technology. Allies team successfully built the chip Allies team successfully built the chip using 110 nanometer and 228 nanometer manufacturing processes from Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corporation. So this approach allows help China to innovate within its existing technological capabilities while bypassing high-end semiconductor limitation. So looking ahead, the team is working on a custom instruction set architecture tailored for hybrid probabilistic computings. It enables the chip to support advanced applications such as artificial intelligence, model acceleration, speech and image recognition, and neural networks. It could allow China to achieve self-reliance in semiconductors, encouraging innovation independent of foreign technologies. There are few implications for global technology. China's approach to redefining computing logic could reshape global perspectives on cheap developments. By focusing on architectural innovation rather than merely increasing transistors count, these strategies may lead to new methodologies in computing because it's by focusing on architectural innovation. So it may lead to new methodologies in computing. This could influence how future chips are designed and utilized worldwide. Next is about rediscovery of Bellistura phycoides in Kerala. Recent advancement in biodiversity research have led to the rediscovery of a rare hexapod species. Hexapods means having 6 legs, known as Bellistura phycoides. This species was first identified nearly a century ago in the Nilgiris by French scientists. The name of the scientist was Giardenis. The original specimen has since been lost. Its original specimen has since been lost, complicating efforts to study this springtail insect. However, a research team from the Molecular Biodiversity Lab at the Government Arts College successfully characterized the complete mitochondrial DNA of these elusive species. Bellistura phycoides was first described in the year 1933 by J.R. Dennis, initially named Bellistura phyci. It underwent a name change in 1944 due to taxonomic revision. Dennis collected only a few specimens which were later lost from the Musée National des Sciences Naturelles in Paris. This loss left the scientific community without any known specimen for study. Now again, rediscovery process had been taken place and the efforts are the recent rediscovery occurred in Kolavayal, Vayanad district, Kerala, in Kerala. The research team led by R. Sanil included students and collaborators from various institutions. They found the new type of specimen in decomposing plantain waste, approximately 35 kilometers from the original collection sites. So this discovery is as it allows for further study of the species. About mitochondrial DNA characterization, it characterizes the mitochondrial DNA of was a challenging task. The research team successfully obtained and analyzed the complete mitochondrial genome. Genome is a complete set of genes. This achievement is important as it provides genetic data that was previously lacking for this genus. It opens avenue for resolving the taxonomical complexity associated with this species, Balistura species. So this rediscovery marks the importance of biodiversity research, which helps in understanding and preserving different types of rare species. The work done by the small research lab in the Nilgiris, they demonstrates that scientific contribution can emerge from limited funding and resources. They also put a stress on the role of local researchers in biodiversity conservation. About community involvements, the lead author of the study, Anuria Joshi, hails from an Adivasi community in Vayanand. Her selection as a project scientist in the Zoological Survey of India reflects the growing recognition of indigenous knowledge in scientific research. So this involvement enhances community engagement in biodiversity conservation efforts. Next is about Dugesia punensis. A groundbreaking discovery was made in Hasin Lake, Pune. A new species of planarian worm, flatworm, named Dugesia punensis was identified. The first new planarian species recorded in India since 1983. This marks the first new planarian flatworm species recorded in India since 1983. These findings were published in the records of the Geological Survey of India. Dugesia punensis is a freshwater flatworm known for its remarkable regenerative capabilities. So this species measure between 8 millimeter and 12 millimeter in length. The flatworm. This flatworm is having the remarkable regenerative abilities, regenerates its body parts. They feature slightly reduced auricles, elongated pharynx, gonopore, eggs are circular, reddish in colors. Auricle groups surround two prominent black eyes. So these are the characteristic of Dugesia punensis, a flatworm. Planarian worm. So it is showing regeneration capabilities. The flatworm can completely regrow after starving for 15 to 20 days, demonstrating full regeneration within 10 to 13 days. So this extraordinary ability makes it a subject of interest in biological research, how it's able to capacity to regenerate full regeneration within 10 to 13 days, particularly in the field of regeneration and development biology. It's a subject of interest. Habitat and ecological importance. Pasan Lake is situated within the Western Ghats biodiversity hotspot. This wetland serve as an important habitat for endemic species, including Dugesia punensis, which is located in that particular area. The study emphasizes the ecological significance of Pahsan Lake and marks the need for conservation efforts to protect its unique biodiversity. The research involved collecting, culturing, and analyzing specimens of Dugesia punensis. Researchers use morphological, molecular, phylogenetical methods to to name the species. The study contributes to the taxonomy and phylogeny to study about the history of the Dugesia genus, as expanding our understanding of planarian diversity, which has the capacity for regeneration. Third news about the potential pandemic threat for Marburg virus. Recent study have raised alarms about a group of bat coronavirus known as a Marburg virus. These viruses are closely related to the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome coronavirus, MERS-CoV. Researchers from Washington State University, California Institute of Technology, and the University of North Carolina have founded that one subgroup. The name of that subgroup is HKU5 may pose a risk to humans, may pose a threat to humans. The finding suggests that a small mutation could enable these viruses to cross species barriers and potentially lead to a new pandemic. About Marburg viruses are a subgenus of coronavirus. They were largely overlooked until the emergence of MERS-CoV in 2012. MERS-CoV is transmitted from dromedary camels to humans and has a high mortality rate of about 34%. Most Marburg do not appear to threaten human health. However, the HKU5 subgroup has shown concerning traits that warrant further investigation. There is a role of spike proteins. Like other coronavirus, Marburg uses spike proteins to join to connect to host cell receptors. This binding is important for the virus to invade cells, to go inside the cells. The recent study utilized virus-like particles to analyze how these spike proteins interact with different cells, various cells. It was found that HKU5 viruses can bind to the receptor. The receptor is ACE2 receptor, similar to SARS-CoV-2, the virus responsible for COVID-19. So a group of vat viruses closely related to the deadly Middle East respiratory syndrome coronavirus could be one small mutation, one small change in their DNA away from the spilling over into human population and potentially causing the next pandemic, according to a new study. So the HKU5 viruses have been detected across multiple continents, including Asia, Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. Although they primarily bind to bad ACE2 receptors, there is a concern about their ability to mutate. A study brought into light that one HKU5 virus in China had already jumped to minks, indicating a potential for cross-species transmission. Research indicates that wet and humid condition. Research indicates that when the condition is the environment is wet and humid, it may facilitate the maturation of HKUF-CoV2. And these warm, wet and humid condition can serve as a breeding grounds for this virus, increasing the likelihood of spillover events. The presence of intermediate hosts such as mink is particularly concerning due to their proximity, their closeness to human populations. As of now, there are over 4,800 active COVID-19 cases in India with a rising death toll. However, recovery rates remain high. The emergence of HKU5-CoV2 strains adds to the complexity of the ongoing pandemic situation, denoting the need for vigilant monitoring of zoonotic diseases. So scientists continue to study the mutation pattern of HKU5 viruses. They aim to determine the likelihood of these viruses infecting humans. While no human infection have been documented yet, the similarities to MERS-CoV necessitate careful observation. The ability of HKU5 to potentially adapt to human receptors ACE2 is a critical area of focus. So these are about the current affairs, science and technology from 8th to 14th June. If you find this video is beneficial, like, share and subscribe among other UPSC and state PCS aspirants. Kindly watch the next episode.